Ladies and gentlemen, you...
Will the real Sam Prentice please stand up? I repeat, will the real Sam Prentice please stand up? We're gonna have a problem here.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. Tim, thanks for the demonetization there by using the Star Wars music. Well done, sir. Brilliant job. Hope you're all well, guys. Back once again doing T3DAO. This is the third episode of that particular build, I guess we could call it. So let's bring the guys in. We have the wonderful Tim, we have the wonderful Jerry, Marcel, and Mr. Tripod from Tripod's Garage. How the devil are you guys?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Guys.
Good. Yeah, I grabbed my head when I said, "Oh no, it's going to go over 10 seconds long on the music." So I'll have to get that
I know. I did. That's an incredible edit later. You know, my camera is still freezing. I think no, it's just because it's dark. I don't know what's going on.
You are a little bit. Yeah, you got your hands right here. Right.
That really sucks. We've got this one over here, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that then, I guess. But yeah, how are we doing? Have we got it all built? What's occurring?
Well, we're getting there. Hello, everybody in chat. SV3D, Betty Boop. Hello, everybody that's watching. You guys want to call out the people on your channels and say hey to them?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm still waiting for servos for mine, so mine's a lot more work in progress still, sadly. No servos.
Oh,
Well, let's see where you at, Marcel.
Yeah, so I got everything printed and everything is all good. I just need servos for it. So unfortunately, I don't even know if my tracks are going to work because, again, like everybody else's, mine are 95A or whatever, so they're a little bit stronger TPU. I'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, all disassembled.
Tim,
Yes.
where you at right now? What do you got going on?
I had my complete droid built and pretty much ready to go, but as you saw in my intro, he had a little fall. Initially, he didn't take any damage that I thought of, but when I went to put the electronics and so forth in place, I noticed some cracks in the structure. And then last night, while rebuilding it and fixing it, I dropped the whole thing again. So look right here, I am rebuilding the whole thing, and by the end of this stream, I will have it working. That's my guarantee.
Oh, that's dedication right there.
Guaranteed.
Dedication and perseverance.
Printed all night.
Well, Tripod, what do you got going on? How are things with you?
It's on me, huh? Okay, well, it's complete.
ooh,
Wow, that's pretty.
And I have a camera, real camera.
upskirt.
And everyone was saying upskirt camera last time. There was no skirts around my house. So, and plus you don't want to see up tripod. So
Yeah.
I do have a problem though with kids that are toddlers. They'll walk underneath me and look up. I'm like, especially if I'm wearing shorts, like,
Or a
it's
skirt.
not the best idea. So, but I am having problems with my tracks. Okay, so, but if I, work, like, you can see how it bounces back. And this is 85. And they're printed at 103%. I can show you a video of, real quick, of the camera working.
All right.
So give me a second here.
Hey, Gary T.
And usually Bear will attack anything RC related, but he was doing pretty good. So
Cool.
yeah, so it does work. The head, I was surprised. I got to do some calibration on the servos. It just whips around really, really quick.
Very nice.
Like that. You can see it just back and
Wow.
forth there. So.
Have to tape a bone to your droid and drag it on a string. I'll vlog chase it.
He loves, as soon as he hears a servo, he's right there wanting to chase. So, but yeah, I mean, it does work. I mean, I had to reprint the tracks, or it's maybe at 104% or something. But you'll see that it still has especially the other side.
What infill did you
Already
use?
got a
On
lot
that?
of play. What's that?
What infill did you use on that, mate?
0.
Oh, okay, right. Interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah. I think it's just the brand.
I'll try and take them off and swap them around a little bit. I did that. I had some binding on one of the sides, but as you can see now, he's whizzing around like like a thing possessed now. He's as I say, I've had 1 or 2 issues.
You're frozen.
I'm frozen again. Am I? Bloody hell. Okay, so
There you go.
I've had 1 or 2 issues with him, but he is, he's whizzing around quite nicely now. The full rotation on the head. Like I say, even when I sprayed this chrome colour on it today, I just whacked it over the tracks. You can see where there's a little blemish there. And then I'd sort of used a bit of dirty down and a bit of black on some of the elements as well. But, he's doing okay. He's not too bad at all. And I'm dead happy with the mechanism. And bear in mind, we were talking early on into this build about using 6 volt. This is 4.8 volt. All right, granted, it's a new battery, so maybe it's running at 5 or 5.2 or something. But the response on this is just phenomenal. And I was talking with Mike yesterday, and we are considering doing a larger version of this with the same kind of track units that I think we're going to talk about a little bit later on, which are these elements here. And each one of these little prints here, it's an hour's worth of printing, and you need 30 of these to do the trick drive that he's working on at the moment. And again, that's TPU. That was printed on the FL Sun Q5, and I'm getting some good results out of that. This was printed on the CR6. I'm getting mixed results with that, but only because of the style of filament and stuff. But hopefully this won't freeze up while I'm talking. I don't know what's going on today. I've had some camera issues, but I love this droid. I think it's cool. I know it's got a bit of a mixed response with people, but the motion on it, and it's only missing probably if the head could just tilt left and right, and just give cool. Kind of, if you had that one extra servo up and down, left and right, it's great. But just that little extra, just that tilt, almost like what Wally has, where it looks at you and goes, it's sort of like what, that kind of thing. Yeah, would be awesome. So, as I say, there's more to come on this, and I think, especially when we're frozen again, especially when we're talking about TPU being used on some of these tracks and PET-G being used to drive these tracks here. I think we're going to have some fun with that, as we progress forward with these builds. So yeah, good stuff all round.
Nice,
awesome. Let me throw me over here for a minute. And here's where I'm at. Here's my Tito. Let me turn him on real quick and see what he's doing here. I got a switch on him. I had a bigger battery pack in him.
Yeah, look how that head just flips around.
And he's starting to drive better. It's getting there. The servo horns, I had one of them that was stripped and I had to replace last night. And on TPU, as you can see, I have a lot of crap. The blue I started out with the wrong TPU. It's like 98, I think it was. And then I got a different brand I brought here. I bought some Pryline off Amazon. And that was like, that was the same as the Arion that I had. And then I finally bought some Yoyi, which is like Ninjaplex. It's a really soft stuff. And I printed that on the FL Sun, which has a Titan extruder, and the soft filament can't back out in spaghetti and go everywhere. And it's getting there. So yeah, I don't know if it has too much power, but it's having a little bit of an issue driving. I even bought a pack of rubber bands. I bought a bunch of rubber bands. I put on that, since that gear is angled, so the track drives down, and I put rubber bands, and you're thinking the rubber band would grab the track and help it drive. And that didn't really seem to work. And then I realized last night when I was talking to Tim that one of my horns was stripped because the screw had backed out, and it's sitting there spinning, and it stripped out that horn. So I had to put another horn in it. And then earlier, this one was loose, tightened it up. So now it kind of wants to drive. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I haven't done any painting on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but it's been a lot of fun. There's always got a lot of projects going on. It's a blast. And I'm really happy that you guys are allowing me to do this with you guys. So
that's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do really quickly is I can see someone's just sort of joined into the room here. We've got a special guest on today. There's a guy on the Michael Badley's Printed Droid site, and he has last week I was on, we were having a conversation, and this little droid really caught my eye, and it's a fantastic little project that this chap's been dealing with. So I'll just bring him into the room now and highlight him. if I can. Trevor, how the devil are you, sir?
Good day. Hello.
Hey, Trevor.
How you doing?
All right.
Welcome along, sir. So this is your pit droid. What's its designation?
I don't have one yet. That's
Wow.
a very
wow.
good question, actually. Maybe somebody can suggest one for him.
That is, it's just brilliant, you know. And you know, when I saw, the thing is, it is true. You know, when people talk to me or have talked to me about like, oh, are you a puppeteer? Are you this? Are you that? And you kind of start being one or start learning those flexes. I noticed on Drinks and Droids, you know, he was just chipping around. You were just making him move, and you know that the way he moves, the way he motivates around. Wow. Is absolutely. I was showing my wife. You know, she was impressed. It's. I was really, really excited, and that's obviously why I reached out to you just to sort of come on and talk about it. What's the process been like? Where are the original files from? How much modification have you had to do to them, Trevor? Where are we at with that?
So they started with Project 842 files. So I had the Fusion files from that. And basically the process started with sort of what did I really want to do with him. And it started with the head and trying to, basically I was inspired by Matt Hobbs and Dave Ferreira's version of their pit droid that had for the cart. They have a little trolley cart, go-kart type build that Matt's doing that has the head move sort of side to side and up and down. So that motion and then up and down. And I kind of wanted a little bit more. I really wanted this tilt. Because I think that gives sort of that puppy dog, you know, a little bit of extra character to him. And
yeah, it really does. I think that tilt, you know, especially with other droids. So if you look at, I was editing a video for the Droid Builder site for the event that we've got coming up next Saturday, and you know, we were talking about puppets and we were talking about Dio, and Dio has 3 servos on his back, on the back of his head, that almost sort of gives surprise. So it's very much about. Not just about making something move, but it's also animating it. And interestingly enough, I didn't realize it did the side to side, but that's literally what I was just saying about T3DO here. You know, that side to side movement just gives it that, you know, human kind of interaction. You know, that it's incredible. I'm so pleased for you that you've got something so bloody awesome. I've got credit to you, mate. Honestly, amazing.
His arms don't move, do they? His arms don't move, do they? But you got to position his arms, right?
So I do have arm movement.
Oh, okay.
On the elbows. I don't have shoulder movement yet, so elbow and wrists for the 2. Oh, this arm doesn't work very well yet, but anyways,
have you named him? Does he have a name?
So hang on. So this isn't finished then? You're still developing this?
I'm still developing. There's some more changes that I want to do. I want to add shoulder movement so that he can pivot the arms up and down. But that's sort of version 3. This guy here, kind of wanted to complete him. And these are the functions that he'll have. And then the third one, because pitch should always be in 3, so you can sort of see the second one there. This is my static one that sort of started it all. But the challenge with pit droids is they're terrible in terms of real function because they're a CGI droid, right?
Yeah.
So the arms are spindly, the head pivot joints in the wrong place, everything's sort of very small and concealed. So trying to fit the animatronics in, that was sort of the big challenge was how do you do a joint that isn't really visible in the bottom here and not have, a lot of head motion and stuff. You see they have the rods up from the bottom and those sorts of things. So that was the challenge that we started to solve with, and we tried a whole bunch of different sort of head joint parts, starting with actually BD1 was one inspiration there with how Michael did that.
Yeah. So just unclear. So where are all the electronics? Are they in the head or are they in the body?
So the arms are in actually the forearm here. You can kind of, maybe not with that one, but the arms are in the forearm. So I'm actually, the wrist is done with there, and then the elbow joint is with a servo in the forearm. The head rotate, there's a servo in the body in here, with a gear that goes up to a hollow carbon fiber shaft that goes up the neck. And that's what we get the head rotate with. And then the head nod and functions are in the head.
I'm assuming on a receiver, when you go to control the arms or something, you flip a switch and then you go back to your joysticks. Then you want to go to the head, you flip a toggle switch. And
yeah, so right now he's just very, very simple RC remote. And so that's part of the problem for animatronics. You kind of run out of hands and fingers, right? Like there's 7 servos in this guy right now. So to do the arms is on just a slider right now. The hands are just on a switch. And then the head motion, yaw is on one stick on this side. And then the other motions are on that side.
you fill the can full of water and you go wake your wife. You wake your wife up in the morning, have a dump of water on her.
Yeah.
Fisher.
Yeah. Blame it on the pit droid.
So
That's insane. I mean, it's good.
when you're trying to do like both arms and hands and everything at the same time, it just doesn't. You run out of hands, right? Like you just.
Yeah. So surely the next movement for that is going to be some sort of combos, right? A bit like the Padawan system, the Xbox 360 control, where you can maybe put a combo into it and it'll perform almost for you. It'll do a head tilt and maybe music or noise or whatever, something along those lines, right? So, where does the madness end on this build?
Well, this guy, I'm calling him done. So version 3 will have moving the servo, because right now the servo in the body is almost impossible to get in there, and so to do it once was enough. And so I'll be moving that to make that better, and then hopefully adding the arm rotations, and that'll be version 3. So that'll be the third one. This guy here, he's done. And so the next steps on him will be maybe add some sound. I do want to add a camera in here and do face tracking, so he can kind of move around and face track to you. That sort of stretch goal, I guess you call it.
How tall is he? About 3 feet? 3 or 4 feet?
Yeah, he's 100 and 1.2 meters, whatever that is. I think is the official height of a pit droid. But yeah, he's he's a little bit shorter than our R2 or than an R2 unit. So
you said that he's going to be going on tracks, right?
Sorry?
You're going to wind up going on tracks?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Or skateboard?
Skateboards,
I mean, unless you really want to make him walk around. So
yeah, walking is not an option, or at least I'm not doing it. Like the as I said, because these guys are CG based, it's the joints and the motions are very impractical. Like they're not a very practical real droid. Like the joints are just so small and everything in here. So
very nice.
I do want to make a little platform maybe and have him ride my R6 unit around, and we can kind of hang out with him. But that's sort of where we're going with him. Yeah.
Does he have a camera in the guy there?
There's no camera in him yet.
No.
Hopefully, maybe some point we'll get a camera in there and do maybe some face tracking and some automation that way.
Nice.
So the question I've got, Trevor, is is this going to be a publicly available thing eventually, or is this just your plaything?
For right now, he's sort of a prototype plaything that I would like to share. I have to work out, because the base isn't my files. I have to work out how that works.
Sure.
I've modified everything from basically the legs upward. But still need the original artist, need to coordinate with him how to distribute files.
So which is Sean Fields, right?
Sean Fields, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, great. Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, there's lots of challenges as we've recently found out within this group about files and how we can put things on and make them, and we strive forward to try and make some awesome droids, and try and educate people. And like I say, I'm so glad you came on, because I was like, I don't know, you may be here, might be not, we don't know yet. And like I say, that is, for me, that is awesome. And I can see that being a very, very popular build.
Yeah, it's not a simple build, but it's not that bad though, and that's part of it. I'm not very good at instructions, so just have to be talking out there and let people go for it, right?
Amazing. Anyone got any questions?
How long did it take to build once you started? Probably.
I'm pretty slow at the whole design part of things, so I've been probably working on them on and off for 6-8 months or so. But to build him now, if I were to build another one exactly like this, it would probably be under 2 weeks of print time.
Okay.
To print him.
Very cool. Where do you live? Where do you live at?
Where do I live at?
Yes.
I'm in Calgary, Canada.
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm from Las Vegas. Yeah, Tim's in Canada. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
Marcel is in Canada, and Tripod is in the U.S. somewhere.
Yeah, I just float around. I'm in the northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can never. Someone can never say that they're from Chicago if they live in the suburbs. It's just, no. You gotta be politically correct.
Fair. What's the power source on that, Trevor?
Right now, it's just I just have a battery hanging out the back. Just
Okay.
a 3-cell lipo.
Yeah, just a regular RC battery, huh?
Yeah, and then you back in there. And I said right now he's just radio control. So you will get next steps would be a little bit more of a controller. If you have 3 of them, it's something I don't know anything about right now, like the animatronics sort of synchronizing multiple guys together.
Yeah.
That's sort of next on the list of trying to figure out, so you can, eventually I'll have 3 of these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they're all moving, you want them to move together and do things.
Yeah.
So some kind of controller there.
And then they'll be behind the bar serving all your guests drinks.
That's right. Yeah. Staying high, right?
The other one will just be tossing it in the ground, though. Damn it.
I think pits just sort of have a lot of character to them, so they've been a fun thing to make them animated.
Do you have a lot of other droids and things that you've built?
Yeah. Well, I've been working on stuff. I can kind of scroll that way, and then there's R6.
Oh, nice.
So there's sort of my full size R6, and then I guess I go this way. You don't want to see that. Right there.
Oh, he's sitting on the couch with you. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a BB unit.
Wow.
That's
Cool. Very nice.
unfinished, but
That's incredible.
I didn't know that he was sitting next to you on the couch. That's awesome.
yeah,
So,
yeah. He's just sort of sitting here. He hangs out with me,
yeah.
and so the 2 of them. So there's the 2 pits. This is what started it all. Built that guy first, and then it went like, hey, this guy really needs to move. And
Yeah.
Anybody in chat have any questions? Please ask.
mhm.
Jason M., thank you very much for the $25. That's awesome. Amazing work, Trevor. Hope to see you back with version 3.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Eventually,
Yes.
we'll get there.
It is very cool. It's very, very cool. And again, it's just we're finding with this group of people is this natural extension of amazing people that are doing some absolutely brilliant things. And yeah, okay, there's a lot of people that do animatronics in film and within that industry, but for the general hobbyist to be doing it and to be showing this stuff off, I just think it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And all credit to you, Trevor. Thank you so much for coming on. by all means, you can hang out if you want to. But as I say, we're going to be moving on to other things now. We're going to talk a little bit more about TDO and probably about the new project that we've got coming up. And we're going to do a little bit of printer talk as well today because, and I'll move straight on into that because, you know, on my last stream last week, I did a Ender 3 review. Sorry, the camera's up here now because this one's going crazy. I don't know what's happening with that. So we've got the fluxing one now, I'm afraid. So I did an Ender 3 unboxing last week and it didn't go particularly well. But in this last few days, I've learned a few things. Comgrow actually sent me a refurbished printer that hadn't been refurbished and it had been dropped, which is why I had all those kind of issues that we were discussing. And since then, I've replaced the springs, I've replaced the build bed as well, and I can gladly say it's printing things out very, very well at the moment. In fact, a lot of the stuff was printed on it, and that's now working absolutely fine. But, you know, it's one of those things, you know, some you win, some you lose. It was incredibly frustrating at the time, but it seems that, you know, the warehouse that shipped it out may have shipped out the wrong equipment, but I think we've got there in the end. But I think it's one of those printers that just needs a little bit of finessing towards the end of it. But you know, it's great, and like I say, I'm hoping to do another unboxing of the weekend. I did have another printer that I was actually filming for, which was the Emicubic Mega X, which I wasn't mentioning the name before because I didn't want to name and shame anybody, but what ended up happening with that one is I contacted Anycubic, I contacted their support team, and they're shipping me out a new board. They think there might have been a problem with the power supply. So, you know, hopefully next week or two we should have that, and we'll be moving swiftly on. But there you go. So have we got any TDO questions? Have we got any 3D printing questions? Where do we want to head on to next? In fact, Trevor, what printers do you use?
What printers do I use?
Yeah.
I use a Prusa, and then I have a Tronsky, Tron XY, whatever you want to call it, 500 millimeter Core XY printer.
Wow.
Okay. And that's working well?
Right now it's not, but it was.
Yeah, 1 week everything's perfect, the next week they're not, yeah.
Yeah, I changed the belts, and now it's skipping, so I think the belts are too stiff. And it doesn't like it, and so I need to adjust the driver strength of the drivers, I think, or find a more pliable, better belt. Basically, my belts wore out when I replaced them. Didn't like it.
Well, I just got a new printer. It's not an FDM. I got an Anycubic Photon Mono X, a big resin printer, and I'm working on
that as well.
But yeah, that'll be my third resin printer.
Yeah, that's a really big resin printer. So
yeah. I got
is it not based off of another printer though? Isn't it like the Saturn or something? It's a rebadged Saturn. Is that right or not?
I'm not sure. I know I've already got the Frozen Mighty 4K. I have the original Elegoo Mars, which is cool and it's small and it works great. But I wanted something mid-size, and I can't afford to spend $2,000 on a giant printer. But then again, the $2,000 printer, you got to put like 2 bottles of resin in it to print anything because it's got such a big vat. So this mid-size should work out great. Sure.
There's a question just coming here. How are you guys finding painting and finishing using automotive spray guns? No, we're not. In fact, most of us are using either rattle cans or airbrushing.
Airbrush,
There is a process for this, and generally it's by using, when you've printed, you normally Philip putty. Trevor might have a different way of doing it. We normally putty them or Bondo them. Then they're sanded and sanded and sanded and bondoed and sanded and sanded and sanded. And then finally we then primer them. And then we use an automotive spray paint usually off the back of that one. So hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit with that.
yeah, I'm going to be testing. I got this mini. It's actually a travel. It's battery operated. So I've yet to try it. So
and it's a poster on it.
Yes. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those George Foreman grills.
It does.
Is that not? It looks like a cheese toasty maker. What is it?
Yeah. It looks like a panini press, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Is that it?
But it's actually battery operated. It can last up to 3 hours, and you can use it off a wall charger. But I want something small because I have what Jerry has is one of those tabletop compressors, but I want something that wasn't going to be as loud.
Oh, it's a spray paint machine. I honestly thought you were showing us a sandwich maker.
Yeah. So here, let me.
Airbrush.
Jason's
Yeah, it's actually,
wondering how you can get better control than Tito head. It really zooms around. Is there any way that can be slowed down so it don't swing around so much?
There is a little bit of tuning on the servos, right? But really, it's very much down to getting. Let's see if we can move over here. It's very much down to. Hopefully, this is still not shifting around. It's very much about your controller. So if you've got a good controller, you'll get better movement off of that servo. And as I say, you can go fast, which I think is probably most people have got problems with that. But it's a little bit of finessing, and with the more advanced controllers, you can reduce the amount that it tips, and you can slow it right down, or you can make things move very, very slowly, and that's kind of nice, especially when you're using a bigger droid. You don't want it to be shooting off and flying around and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. You want it to be quite gentle. So yeah, your controller is going to be a lot to do with that. The servo is also a lot to do with that, but at the same time, a decent controller generally is going to help you out and away you should go. Hopefully, let's try the other thing. It's still not working, man. I don't know what's going on with this today. Let's press this button.
Yeah. So that's how small it is. The compressor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and the airbrush is a dual action airbrush.
That reminds me of it. That kind of looks like a droid that we might be talking about soon.
Yeah. So very quiet. Very quiet.
Yeah.
And it's got 3 settings. Sorry. I don't want to give everyone the bird there. But yeah. But yeah, it's it's like singing. But I'm excited to give this one a try. I'll provide the link, but it has a replaceable battery pack in there. So actually, what kind is it?
Cool.
But yeah, it's otherwise I've been using what everyone calls as rattle cans. So I haven't been using an airbrush, but I'm excited to finally get back into airbrushing. I haven't done it in over 30 years. So.
Well, you better hurry up, buddy. You're not getting any younger.
Oh man, that's
all my droids are rattle cans.
So basically, I could buy better stuff, is what Jason said. Well, kind of. You sort of get what you pay for. The idea with these mini droids. I wouldn't want to run a 100 kilo R2D2 off of a $20 handset. That's not what this is about. I think we'll but again, a cheap Spectrum radio, you might be able to pick one off eBay for $40 to $60, something like that. And they do obviously go up past 800 quid depending on what you're doing. But that's you get what oh, bloody hell, this fucking camera. Honest to God. I don't know what's going on today, guys. I'll tell you what, it's enormously frustrating. I don't know what's going on. But
yeah, I used to have a Spectrum DX6i, I think it was called, and I sold it about 2 years ago. And so this time around, not having much money, I got on Amazon the same as tripod, and I bought a Fly Sky. That Fly Sky is like $50, and currently it's working for the smaller stuff. But if I get into bigger, fancier droids, then I'll have to buy more sophisticated controllers.
So, yeah, I mean, we're talking about things that have got decent fail-safe cut-offs and things like that. You don't want if you lose power or if somehow the signal gets interrupted or something like that. What you don't want these things doing are flying off into the distance and smashing into something. An insurance, personal, some sort of indemnity insurance for you to run these things around at a larger scale is certainly quite important as well. The Builders Club in the UK here, you go through a process of, like an MOT. So an MOT is like a UK car certificate. You have to do it every year. Same with the UK droids, and we just make sure that things are not going to burst into flames. They're not going to, mutilate a small child or crash into something and cause an enormous amount of damage. So we do have quite a lot of rigor for robots going to events and doing events within the UK. So yeah, I mean, like I say, again, you can get cheap radios that still have fail-safes on them. So it's interesting. So let me ask you this: I'm on here earlier than I normally am because we got on here at 11 o'clock UK time. So that's because you guys have you've got daylight savings already, right?
Yeah.
It's like 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the guy that smashes his droid gets it.
Oh,
to
he
roll.
likes smashing them.
Cool.
Yeah, and he gets it to roll. I think this is a rigged stream. Really.
Do
Look at
that
that.
with your eyes closed, Ken.
Rigged.
So right now, I'm gonna see if I can find a better link. Right now, I bought mine off this airbrush off of Amazon, and it's currently not available. So I may have bought the last one. So
On your radios, you can look for exponential functions that can help smooth out around centers. They're not as jittery. Most radios have expo. Or on like a Fry Sky, you can do what's called, you can just slow it down. So you say, take 1 second to go from 0 to the end. And so I've done that on some of these to slow down the motion so it's not as jittery for the hands, for example, or even the head.
What
So
type of
provides a little
controller are we
bit of
talking
delay
about?
on doing that?
What type of controller are you talking about where you can tune them down?
FR Sky is the brand name. Most of them can do that. They run something called OpenTX. It's the software. This one here is a Tyrannus 9B. It's a little bit of a higher end model, but the QX7 or the QX7X, I think they're called. They're quite an inexpensive radio that has all of those features, and so you can put in a mix that's basically says take this time to go from here to here.
Uh-huh.
Or
you can add in curves and stuff like that as well, can't you? To these, you can add in like curves and things, can't you, to the radio? So it doesn't just shoot off or jump around too quickly.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, like I say, the box standard radio in the UK here is to buy a Spectrum. I have bought a couple of really, really, really cheap radios because family members have asked for little R2s and things like that. So, they're going to run them round, tip them over, let the dog eat them, and then, probably give me the radio back and ask me to build them something else. But, that's, again, the market that we're looking at for these particular small droids are, really kind of budget. I am... let's say, for instance, you've got an Ender 3, you're doing some prints, and you want to print something small. Great. That's the that should be relatively easy. And again, like Jason's saying there, again, it depends very much on the radio that you've got. There are so many out there; it's difficult to give advice on stuff that you're not maybe using all the time. So, it's all the devil will be in the detail, and probably Google. If anybody knows, ask away. And share the wealth.
Don't Mr. Bagley have an app that either him or somebody else is working on where you can control the smaller ones with the cell phone?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So I helped Michael with that. There's a little board that you can buy. Basically, there's a Nano with an HM10, I want to say, a Bluetooth controller. And you can create a little app. And then a couple of servos. So that's nice. That one.
I just don't have the Bluetooth module attached to it right now because it's on order. But
right.
So, the SD card goes in the bottom module.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, those are for the it's the DF player. So I did the board design for that.
We're his dealers for Jason.
Jason M lives here in Las Vegas.
But and then if you're looking for Arduino stuff to smooth the servos out, it's called servo easing, and you can there's lots of libraries for that do this sort of acceleration in and out. So if you want to control it from an Arduino or something, then you can do a servo easing library.
Yeah, the controller, the old school controllers from these RCs, that was built into the controller, the servo easing, where it was just normal, because a lot of times if you were racing, you would want the quick steering, versus if you're going to be on a truck, you don't want to take that turn quickly.
Yeah, so it's expo functions. On most radios, it's called expo.
Yeah.
On the old standard radios, you can basically smooth or lowers your sensitivity around neutral, so you have a nice smooth, which should work well for Tito and those other droids. Or fire up the CAD and change the gearing. That's probably the easiest way to do it, or another way to do it.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. But again, the idea of this, Trevor, is just to show people how potentially how easy these things are to build and to bed them in easily. We did a 3-hour live stream to get the first droid working for everybody, and like I say, it can be a labour of love, and as I say, it's we just want to try and the idea is just to try and educate people. It's a slow grower, so we want to build people up to. I don't want to scare people off, is what I'm saying. There are some very complicated systems that we can put in. DO is a good example of that, but that's a labour of love, that one. But a very cool build. Very cool build.
Our first droid was this one. If anyone's watching, I didn't see it. Here's the first one we built. Here's my variation of it, the way I had painted it. And the biggest problem I had is I was building it on the stream, and it comes with a PDF file that you can either print out or have it on your screen and follow it. And it was very easy to follow, but I kept asking people on the stream, how do you do this? How do you do that? All they had to do is read the paperwork. So if you follow the paperwork, it's usually no big deal. And if you're having trouble, you can get on Facebook. You can message a lot of us. There's a million people out there that can help you with, not a million, but a lot of people out there can help you with your build if you're having trouble. So,
yeah.
Fantastic first droids to build.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we will build up to other things as well. We are, very nice, very nice. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, we are building up. And what I will try and do, if I can share my screen, I might not be able to. Yes, I can. Hang on a minute. So I think, let's have a look. This week, Michael Godelli brought out a BB-8 track hybrid. And I know this dome quite well because he actually CAD'd me up a BB-8 dome that originally fits onto an R2-D2. And I was going to try and use that for a project that I was working on at the time. Now, this particular one, hopefully, I don't know if you see the mouse. If you can, right? So this particular one has got some connotations. It's been made into it's been photoshopped a few times, of course, but it looks like it's incredibly popular with 76 comments. Now, this drive system here. Now you'll notice this bit here very much looks like T3DO, right? So you can already see that this little element here is, a little throwback to R2-D2. I'm not too sure about these wings, but there you go. That's what they are. And then, of course, we've got like a BB-8 style dome. Now, from what I understand, with this particular droid, if you don't like BB-8, if you're an anti-BB-8 person, you can print a different dome for this. Michael's also going to be producing the domes at whatever scale this is at. Now, these individual tracks here are TPU, and they're running at, I think he uses NinjaFlex for these. I'm going to be using a similar for that. And there's 30 of these, and they take around about an hour to print. So you've got 60 in total. The motor sits inside here, and it drives a PETG cog, and it runs both of these. There's one at the front, one at the back. And I don't know if I can find. Let's have a look and see if I can find his. I'll come out of this a second.
I was just going to say, I was absolutely surprised that it wasn't using some type of pre-existing tread system that you just buy.
Oh wow, look at that.
That's neat.
So this is the this is what Mike's been trying to sort of get off the ground for a while. I know he's been working on this for some time. So this is using two small motors. In fact, they're the same motors that go inside of Badley's Dio droid, the little Rise of Skywalker droid. Hang on, I'll come back out of there now. And how do I get rid of that? Oh, the joy of technicality. Here we go. Yeah, so I've started
the Earth in a globe, right, on a ball. It has a beginning and an end point. That's it. Say that's not the end of it. Say there were land masses found beyond what we're told is the end pole of the Earth.
What is going on? Is that me?
What's going on?
Yeah.
God dear. I don't know. I was like, is someone just having like a moment then? I was like, oh my word.
I'm like, are we watching Ancient Aliens? I had no idea what was
I've got
going
no
on.
idea.
As long as it's 10 seconds,
We've all
let's just
already
go
been
with 10
demonetized from this stream thanks to Tim. So, you know, it's,
Yeah.
Well, now it's the same, thanks to Sam and Tim.
Yeah.
no, because the Eminem stuff isn't Eminem.
Ah, okay.
So,
Yeah, at the beginning, I'll get a demonetization, and then StreamYard, I can go and I can edit on YouTube, and they'll edit the video, and it'll blank out that sound.
and Tim now has to pay us each $100.
I will. I honestly didn't realize. I apologize.
I seen that on Facebook, but I didn't realize it had music with it. So in the future, we need to rerun things before we go live to see what we're doing.
Yeah, Trevor, we had Michael McMaster on, and he was showing us Wall-E, and he started playing a song from Wall-E, and everybody just got hit straight away. It was really funny. But Jerry was like, oh no, what's going on? And I was like, oh shit, man, this really sucks. This really sucks.
Yeah.
Copyright Nazis, right?
Definitely. So, you know, like I say, the idea, guys, is, you know, do we want to do this new droid, or do we want to do something else, or do we want to go away and think about it for a little bit? I'm already kind of partly building some of these elements already. It isn't, you know, it's going to be a more technical build than T2 or anything that we've done before, but we are scaling things up here, and the materials are very much about PET-G. The majority is going to be PET-G, unless you want to do the dome in PLA or whatever. And the tracks are tricky. They are tricky to print, and you've got a good 60 hours worth of printing in flexibles there. And the reason you can print it in whatever you like, of course, but the reason that it's in flexibles is because you want to try and get that grip on the floor, whatever you're on. You want to try and get that hard grip and stuff. And I'm sure.
What kind of infill are you using on those and layers and stuff? 15%
and 2 layers.
Okay. And PLA Plus, I just ordered 10 rolls from a company here in the U.S. called GST 3D. They had a special 10 rolls of PLA Plus for $100, free shipping. So I got 10 rolls. How would that fare? I've never tried PLA Plus before.
Body-wise, it'd be totally fine. But I would recommend for anything to do with gearing, or when you're turning stuff, especially stuff like, you know, like this, you know, you want to make sure you don't want any heat around that, and it's got to be hard wearing as well. And my experience with PLA, let's see if this is going to work. No, it's not. My experience with PLA, and certainly when I've been working with Dio, the external of this is all PLA. This part in here, there's a little motor in here. If you can just see that there, there's a little motor inside there. That is this motor. Okay, this motor gets really hot. So certainly if you're racing it around and stuff, right? So that motor. Or if you're using PLA, what happens with PLA? It doesn't melt or anything like that. What it does is it becomes it melts, but it doesn't it's not like a dripping melt, right? It's kind of like a softening of the plastic, and all that happens is the screws come out and things just don't work anymore. Since it's been in PET-G, and this whole bottom layer, this red layer here is PET-G. Absolutely fine, no issues at all. And I race it round. I've tried to break it. That's, you know, I've really put it through its paces. But PETG, and again, I would say certainly so what happens with this is the internal frame. The motor just sits inside here. There's 2 little holes in here. That gets mounted inside this frame. There's another piece on the top. It drives this gear. This little gear drives the other gear. That clicks to the motor, and you basically got yourself a drive system. So I would say probably the best thing that we can maybe look to do is try and create the drive system over a period of, you know, next Friday, the Friday after, something along those kind of times, and just be kind of cool and casual with the what does that say? Malleable?
Yeah, malleable. It's when it's like a Play-Doh becomes malleable. That's where dripping plastic.
Yeah, sure. So like I say, when I've used that previously, the motors do get warm. They don't get hot. They're not piping hot, but because you've got that amount of tension on it and it's constantly pulling like this, you don't want to be doing this twice. So I say, you're going to use a harder. Don't have to use PET-G. You could use something else. You could use the nylon if you wanted to be super technical about it. But PET-G kind of works for this, and that's what's being recommended. So you know, I go with the recommended way because that's the best route for me. On the TPU side, I am using a stock TPU from Amazon. It was probably the cheapest TPU that I could find. I'm printing that on the Q5 horrendously well at the moment. I think I've got 5 on there at the moment.
Wow.
I've been doing them singly to start with because, they were falling over. And the other thing I've learned this week is I've, for the very first time, moved away from Cura. And in 5 years, I've never used anything else other than Cura. And can you guess what I've gone over to use instead?
Prusa.
Prusa slicer. Yes, indeed. And it's different. All right, the software package is, similar and all that kind of stuff. But the print quality is different. And in all intents and purposes, in fact, I can show you. Let me show you. What camera can I go to? Right. So,
did you watch any particular video when you set it up, or did you just fly by the seat of your pants, install it, and figure it out?
No, I just chucked it on there. So this was, what was this on? This was CR6 SE on. Let's see if we can get that to zoom. CR6 SE. No, that's crap. Hang on. Let me go to the other camera. Right. Where are we? Hey, where's the camera gone? It's on the floor, man.
That's a good spot.
What's going on, man?
Oh, it's here. Hello. Right, okay, let's get this. Sorry if anyone that's feeling sick. So this is Ming In. Yeah.
Yes, it's pretty ugly.
That's Cura, right? Exactly the same file.
Oh, wow.
Prusa slicer. So, look, I mean, I'm no expert on this sort of stuff, but there's a difference there between the two, right? Yeah, it's a noticeable difference.
They look identical to me.
You printed them in that orientation, up right?
Yeah, same orientations, the whole lot. Just a different slicer. So, it just goes to show that, and I wasn't a doubter of it, but I was printing some stuff today, and I was like, I'm just going to try it and literally download the. If you haven't used it already, download it, have a look. You select. It doesn't have to be a Prusa. You can select any kind of printer, and the manufacturers that have been hot to embrace it, they've got their information already on it, or the user groups have put them on there. Tons of different filaments. Select the filament type. It might be a generic or it might be a specialist filament. Hit the button and away we go. So I'm really, really impressed. Super impressed.
You sold me.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. So what are we thinking then? So I'm not entirely sure what this one's even called. It's kind of BB-8 track BB-8.
And again, it looks like the sports edition. It looks like a race car.
Yes, I mean, like I say, if we go away, we try and get done with the tracks for next Friday. They don't have to be built or anything like that. There is a little bit of purchasing to do. There's 2 motors. There are some metal rods that go through the. Thank you. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I've just had a good experience with them today, and I've got the Ender 3, which is finally printing and working. That's also using the slicer, and again, I'll just give it a go and see what happens. But as I say, going back to this, it looks pretty good. So let's get the tracks done, and then see where we can go from there. I guess is maybe one of the best bets. Someone's saying no, laugh out loud. What's that all about?
No, laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Non-stick.
Might be a non-Prusa like
maybe, yeah.
Miss Maker. All major slices can be. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I totally get that. But, I'm talking about opening the package up and it just works. It is what it is. So,
no, it's back next Friday. Are we going to come back this week? Loyal Moses, awesome. $50. Nerds.
Just a little. So
yeah. I mean, look, I know there are other slicers out there, but I've always used Cura, and I've always had reasonably good results out of it. And I thought I'd just try something new today. It's a bit like Tripod, and we found out earlier that he likes to wear dresses at the weekends.
I do. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
I didn't know. I was that adventurous.
Hence the upskirting. But yeah, like I say, it's good stuff. What slicers do you guys use out of interest?
I've been using.
I've,
I use Prusa Slicer exclusively.
Whoa. Sorry?
I simplified 3D, but I need to get into something else.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I say, I've been a big Cura fan for a long time, and it's quite powerful. But I was looking through Prusa Slicer earlier, and there was this wind guard. So it will print almost like a perimeter. It print like a Donald Trump wall around your print. So that you don't get any kind of airflow through it, which I thought was kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, I've only used Cura because I'm waiting to have a Prusa to use Prusa.
Oh.
Are we coming back next Friday?
I use it for my big printer. I use Prusa Slicer. You just got to get the profiles right.
Yeah.
And then there's a new fork of it called Super Slicer if you want to go try that. And then Idea Maker is the other one that would be worthwhile looking at some point. It seems to be quite.
Yeah, I'll say it's very, very interesting. And, the thing is, with me, I've always just done what I've done. And if it works at the beginning, I don't tend to sort of deviate from that. So, with the droid building, I've always been, it's something that I've always sort of been able to do and do successfully. So, ultimately, why would I change something? But I was just having some real issues with that TPU today, and I thought, well, try the settings out. And again, the temperatures, the traction, all that kind of stuff was the same. It's exactly the same. Change the slicer. There's something obviously different there, or it processes it, or the G code is processed differently. Or I noticed what it does is it kind of rises up and sits there and heats up. Whereas Cura kind of doesn't really do that, or the G code sent out doesn't really do that. But no, it's cool. It's very, very cool. Anyone use what does that say? EasyBot controller. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Easy
It's like your Arduino controller
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's an all-in-one device that's meant for little robots. Easy Robot. They have bipeds and little Hexbot and such, and some very easy to use sort of drag and drop.
You guys are all bipeds. I'm a tripod.
It's I haven't used it though, but it's be a good little controller for a lot of robots. The only downfall with it is it's not standalone, my understanding. So like you can kind of make it standalone. You need a controller, so it's supposed to be tethered to a PC kind of thing, and then controls your robot that way.
Yeah, I assume it does like what you were talking about earlier, where you can do multiple. You press one button or a series of buttons, and it'll do multiple things.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Like a macro, yeah.
Oh, what is this? How's the resin going? So eventually it will be going. So it's we gotta get the garage all redone. The weather's starting to finally break pretty good here in Chicago to suburbs.
Show us robot tripods. You done robot?
Oh yeah, yeah. Chris has seen that. So because he knows that I want to do castings with it, so he's waiting for that stuff to come. So, but well, I'm getting there.
So what we should do, guys, is sorry, Tribal, just for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to whack the link in. If you want to drop in, we're going to run for another 10-15 minutes or so. So if you do want to drop in, I know that's kind of like one of those things where it's either popular or it's not. If you've got any questions for Trevor, as he's very kindly sort of stayed on. If you've got any questions for Tripod or upskirting or
I do have my favorite dresses. I just won't tell you what they are.
Whoops.
Amazing.
Yeah, I released a video yesterday or the day before, and on one of my models, the leg failed. It was the left leg, not the right leg. And unfortunately, I looked at it and I go tripod. And I should have done that, but
I'm all good.
My wife is so mad at me that I said something.
It takes a lot to offend me. A lot. So.
Hey, we got somebody dropping in right now. We've got Dennis. Hello, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm always back.
Hi, Dennis.
I think it looks awesome.
Let's see what you got going on there with your droid.
Great color.
Mine works too.
Nice.
Cool.
Is that like a silk green?
Yeah, it's all PETG. It's a silk green.
That's really cool. Really
I reprinted all my tracks and my wheels with Ninja Flex, and it gets around a whole lot better.
Yeah.
The files for that new one aren't up on Patreon yet, are they, Sam?
Well, they might be. We have got them. We were sent them earlier, but again, I'm not entirely sure as of yet. But I know it was either going to be released for Easter. That was going to be the idea, I think, behind it. But I don't quite know where we're at with that at the moment. But if they're not there now, they will be there very, very shortly, I imagine.
Yeah, I thought he posted that they were going to be Easter, and I was just over the Patreon. I didn't see him anywhere. So
5001 from Jason M. He's bouncing around on our channels now. Awesome. He's sympathized.
Well, Nonstick, I might be doing an individual live stream on Wednesday. So.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason's got money to burn, surely.
Yeah, he was on my channel and donated 50, and I'm not sure whose channel he is on now. So
no idea. No idea. That's funny. That's funny.
Okay, so let's take a step back here, okay, about this Presses thing for people that weren't. Okay, so I said on the last stream 2 weeks ago that and
I've just removed him from the stream. I'm sorry.
Ouch.
Okay, whoever did that is not going to moderate my stream. So I said, I'm going to put a functional camera in mine. Okay. And so everyone's like, whoa, well, the head tilts up and down. What's tripod going to do? Upskirting with it? So, yeah, it's and it does work. It works really well. It's Wi-Fi. But wait. It doesn't. I haven't tested it for upskirting. So I didn't say it worked well for that.
I'd stick with that story.
Yeah, everybody watching, since there's 5 of us here, you can actually have 5 windows open on your other monitor, mute all of them but one, and then you can give us all thumbs up from watching all of us. So
yeah,
anyway.
So that's where that came from. So just wanted to clarify. So if there's anyone else that wants to pop in on the stream, the link is out there. Yeah. So thank you, Jason and Loyal. That was nice of you guys for donating. So
awesome.
I haven't laughed so hard on the stream in a long time.
Well, you should have been on Sam's stream when he was having fits with that, because about an hour of it was picking on you.
Oh, I know. I was working, so I kind of actually came in on the stream at the right times. So.
Yeah, probably.
Well, we knew you were digging a hole for your printer.
Yeah. Well, it's down there on the floor where it belongs.
Oh, Sam, on this new droid, I should start printing TPU for the next week, right? Printing the tracks.
Well, I mean, like I say, I mean, so what I've seen, so Michael runs Prusa's, right? I think he's got 4 Prusa's, and what I've seen him do is he's kind of got them staggered on his build plate. And I was like, why are you doing that? And I didn't know if he was printing them singly or if he was printing them over a matter of time. But he got his done, obviously, within a few days, and they were racing around because he's using 4 printers. Okay. That being said, though, on my setup here, I'm printing 5 at the moment. And I think today I've just been inadvertently printing them, and then obviously Prusa Slicer came along, and then I was doing that. Then I was editing videos, and I was trying to create content. And then I sprayed the Droid. This was sprayed this morning with a chrome. Then I started weathering them up, and I was like, "This is what I've got to get done today before tonight." So
you got a brim? You have a brim on them or anything? Skirt
or
brim?
Do
you have a brim on them, or just a skirt around them for an outline?
Oh, sorry. I thought you asked if I had a grandma. Sorry.
No, I thought you said, "Are you wearing a skirt too?" So I'm like, I don't know.
Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
No kill.
So I do. So on Prusa Slicer, you can set it so that there are not. I keep talking about this stuff, but I just thought it was pretty cool. But it's a double brim that I've put on that. So it sits on there. I've also used a bit of 3D lac because I just didn't want it to move. Obviously, TPU is quite an interesting product because you don't need a heated build plate for it. But so that means, if your bed is quite well used, then how's it going to stick, or is it going to move, or is it, so I had some concerns about that. But so far, touch wood, the 5 I've got on there are printing really nicely, and long may it continue. And then hopefully by the end of the stream they'll be finished, and then I can swap them over and do another 5 and carry on until I've got my 60. So and again, you get these little steel rods, they're little helicopter rods, and all you do is place them in between, round off the ends, and you're good to go. So but, from what I understand, the big version of this that I'm hoping to do, the 3-foot version, it'll use those tracks. So just watch your fingers, I suppose.
3-foot version?
Yeah, I think we're going to do a 3-foot version. Mike and I are going to do. We were talking about it, and we were talking about maybe doing a YouTube thing where we talk about the CAD, we talk about how things are going to work, and make it and break it, and then obviously at the end we kind of release something to if you want to print something crazy and big, and because obviously the idea is on the front here, on the very front, you'll see there's 3 little holes there for LEDs. So a bigger scaled version of that, I think there'd be a lot more detail, a lot more greeblies, and a lot more things that can go into the sides, and put little smoke machines in there or something like that, that kind of thing. So and again, it's not a Star Wars droid, so there's no copyright, there's no IP, there's no issues with the CAD files, because this was made by Mike. So I kind of feel like it's worth embracing it, and if I get it done, and if I can make this work, and the people that I'm speaking to at the moment, I'm hoping also to be at the Birmingham trade show for 3D printing with that droid, or with that robot, should I say, when things start opening back up again. So that's my intention anyway. So I want to build for that, show it's all 3D printed. And
can you share a picture of the for Jason?
Yeah.
Share a picture of the droid again.
Yeah, the racetrack BB-8.
Yeah, where is that?
Track BB-8, yeah.
Racetrack BB-8. Okay, 1 second. Let me just try and open that back up again. Well, bear with me for a moment.
Yeah, so that's the 3-foot version. I don't know if I'll put a camera in it. I may not suit its purpose anymore. So
You could probably get inside of it. To be fair, it's a colossal.
A hidden camera.
Little gimbal camera.
Hang on, here we go. Right, let me share my screen. That's that. That's this one. Yeah, stream 2. Here we go. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, and as you can see here, the tracks on this, it's all fully 3D printed. There are a couple of steel rods that go through here and here.
What do you think the dimensions are? About 1 foot long on the tracks and 18 inches tall, guessing?
Yeah, I'd say so. BB-8, the BB-8 style dome here, is scale. I don't know what scaling he's used on that.
He said the domes are 50% scale.
Man, it kind of reminds me of the space shuttle. I mean, the top part. It's pretty cool looking. So
does this remind you of breakfast?
Yeah. Oh yes, I was going to crack an egg right on it. So that's hilarious.
Cool. So he's got some good comments off the back of it, and again, it's one of those things that's just a bit different. And I think you're going to be able to put other things onto this eventually. It's got to be one of those sort of almost like a transformer, where you can put stuff on it and you can build it up and do other things with it if you so choose to. So I'm kind of impressed with it. Obviously, like I said before earlier on, we were going to do a completely different droid. We've had a few small technicalities with that, which means that we're not actually able to do that at this particular point in time. We've tried our best with it, but we've got to respect people's wishes, certainly when they've devised files for use within communities and stuff like that. So we asked for permission, and they said no, and then we tried to do something else, and that didn't work out either. So as I say, I think we're going to stick. I really would like to do a pit droid, maybe not an RC remote control one, but I would like to do maybe sort of look at doing something that's standable style thing. And try and push forward. Could you put a dress on it? Oh, amazing! I love that.
Tripod.
Tripod. This is your new thing.
I guess. I mean, it's. I mean, the thing is, I have one leg. If I put a dress on, I'll look like a bell. It'd be like ding, 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 ding. Okay, I mean, it's.
If I had one leg and I was doing a 3D printing, which I am, but I don't have one leg, I would print a Terminator 2 type metal leg, and I'd paint it chrome, and I'd have a futuristic robot leg.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be a video with my prosthetics sometime soon, so I gotta find it. I actually don't know where the hell it is. But...
And I know you said something about your other prosthetic hurt really bad. Well, you can get those things removed that they're hurting, and then it won't hurt no more.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody on Sam's stream was wanting to print you one.
You know, yes, they were wanting to print you one. They were talking about that, weren't they? Yes, they were. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, tripod.
Yeah.
Can I? Something my wife had asked me, and I didn't ask you privately, and I don't know if it ain't appropriate. Don't answer me. How did you lose your leg? Because I don't know. If that's something you can talk about.
Okay. Well. Okay. So I never really lost it. It was kind of taken away from me. You know, so if I lost it, I'll be looking for it. You know, I lost my artificial leg. I don't know where that's at.
It's got posters all around town still.
Yeah. Like, damn, have anyone seen that leg anywhere? Okay, so when I was 15, my right knee started hurting really bad. And I was not that athletic. I was pretty good at baseball, but I just really couldn't start running anymore. And then went to my family physician. They said, "Oh, I just have a sprained knee." Okay. And it progressively got worse and worse. 3 or 4 months later, it started getting a swelling on it. And I actually, told my mother, I'm like, "Hey, something's going on. It's just getting worse." And she brushed it off. So I went to emergency room on my own with a friend, and they just took an x-ray, and they said I hyperextended it. 3 more months goes down the line, and I go back to the family physician. He comes in, looks at it, and then he goes back out, brings in the whole staff. He said, "I misdiagnosed you."
Wow.
I wound up having a cancer in my knee, a sarcoma, and it's very rare, very rare. I could have won the lottery versus getting something. Okay, so instead I got the lottery of losing a limb. So I actually went. They said you need to get a CAT scan now. So I go in there, and this is a highlight to a future video because again, it's not just 3D printing I'm into. I want to tell this whole story later on, but I still have the original CAT scans or MRIs of it, and it looks pretty damn gnarly. What's happened? It would look like. The 3-dimensional view looked like an octopus wrapping around my whole knee. Wow. So, yeah. So the only way to save my life was amputation. And there's groups out there where doctors are trying to do limb-saving procedures, and the person winds up dying because they don't want to give up their limb. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I had a week to prepare for it to be amputated. I don't know what's worse, is preparing for that week or waking up and it's gone. So I never got out of bed trying to think I'm going to walk to the bathroom, though, so it'll fall on my face. But no. But that's what happened. And then 7 years ago, I had cancer again in my colon. But I'm doing good. So that's the story.
What's just on a lighter note, Tripod, if I can ask you this personal question, when did the mumbling start?
Oh, I don't know. Apparently it just started because hey, let's take a poll. Do I mumble?
No, you don't. You don't. You really don't. You really don't.
We all have our trolls.
Good, guys. How's it going?
Hi, Kieran.
Hey, how you doing?
I can relate to Tripod. I got diagnosed last year with prostate cancer, and 3 weeks after diagnosis, I was getting mine removed. So the less time to think about it, the better off you are.
Yeah, I have a problem with doctors. They wind up taking things away, never giving something good in return. But
yeah. Well, I don't know where mine. I think it's in a jar somewhere. So that's the way it is.
I asked to keep it. I'm like, what are you gonna do with it? Well, we'll biopsy. I said, you already got a biopsy of it. So
yeah, well, I got biopsies. They took 27 biopsies of my prostate. So when they said we're going to remove it, I said, what's left to remove? We're taking 27 biopsies out of the damn thing. It's not that big to start with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's
how high above your knee? How high above your knee was your leg gone? About halfway up.
It's 2/3 of the way up. So that's why I don't wear a prosthetic, because it stabs you. So the prosthetic that they gave me, it's a suction-based one where I have to wrap an ace bandage around and push the stump through, pull the ace bandage out as it's ripping across my skin through the valve, put the valve in, squeeze it, put this belt that's about 5 inches wide around my waist, and I have to literally throw the leg forward every time I take a step. And as I take a step, the inside of the prosthetic rests on the inside of the hip, and it's just hitting. And then sometimes something pinches right there. That is very unpleasant. Yeah, not exactly the best thing. So,
okay. Well, at least you're here, dude. You know, and somebody said here they're going to put a song on in a minute. Sarah McLachlan singing for animals. Is that right? But you know, hey, the good news is you're still here. You still survived it, and you know, it's good. It's a good thing, and we can all take the piss out of you. So, you know.
Oh, hey, I mean, it's all good. So, I got to put this slat wall up in the next couple months. So that's going to be me on a one-legged dude on a ladder again. So
scary thought.
Amazing.
Oh, look at that! Yeah. I've talked to Chris Travis before about his daughter being a cancer survivor. I mean, you know, 5 people in my family, including my mother, father, grandparents, brother, and aunt, have all died from cancer.
Wow.
And 2 of the times, when I was 15, my mother had cancer when I had cancer, and she passed away 11 months later. My brother had colon cancer. I had symptoms of it. He wound up passing away from colon cancer when I got diagnosed a couple days later.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's very weird being the survivor twice while having 2 of your direct family members die from it. You know, so and I was like, is God telling me something that I need to do? So I'm like, well, maybe it's to be with you guys to give me shit on this stream while I'm skirting. So that's what I'm here for.
You're owning it, Tripod. That's the story. Just own it.
That's it.
Yep.
Exactly right.
I owned it.
Right. Exactly
That's
right.
it. Matt German, own it and carry on.
Yep. So how you doing, Karen? Did you get your droid done?
The droid's finished, but as you can see behind me,
Matt German about 2 o'clock. Hang out.
It's all complete. But
nice.
Been waiting 3 weeks for the servos and radio control stuff. I'm in Australia, so it's like everything takes months and months and months to get here. So hopefully next week they'll have the servos and actually finish putting it together, and I can paint the damn thing. But no, it turned out.
I was going to say, just go for.
Nice, you know. No.
Oh, that's really nice. That's beautiful.
Sorry, Tripod. It is the CR6, you know. Sorry, but
I mean, we all have our problems.
I got some good news and bad news. Mine, yesterday was giving me the shits. I mean, it was just over extruding, under extruding, giving me the shits. I thought finally the extruder shut itself. I've got a easy extruder in the drawer. Got a all metal CR Crowdy one in the drawer. And it's still the original. I've got a spare original, and bloody loose bolt. One of the mounting bolts had worked its way loose, and that's all it was. Tightened it up. Got as gold again.
Wow.
So it's still the original extruder. So surprisingly.
Well, there are some good news here, Kieran. We are CR6 SE survivors.
Yes, true.
Y'all are.
Twice over.
This is survival club.
It's just luck of the draw, you know. And what can you do? You just get the Friday afternoon, go home for lunch, and don't come back. You know, that's the way it is. So someone had to get one. Unfortunately, it was John. So.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm a winner when it comes to this stuff. So.
Yeah, that's it exactly. I mean, all you can do. It's good to have one that plays up, so then you can pull the thing apart and actually work out what's going on with it. It's not a bad thing. Better have it broken and fix it than working perfectly.
Dominic said it'd be nice if we could have a meetup in Chicago. I think it'd be great if everybody came to Las Vegas. That'd be cool because I live here. Always a lot going on in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and whatever Tripod picks, you just follow him. He'll make a forttion. He's a lucky sod.
Well, if you go to Chicago,
oh wait a minute, right to luck here, guys.
I heard John was banned from Vegas for upskirting, so you know.
Yeah. They said, "Oh, he's bringing Tito with."
No, I'd like to come out. I'd like to come out and do a little bit of a tour. I think I had this idea on the stream last week where I was thinking of going back to China and probably get down into Shenzhen and try and get into see what actually is how these printers are made and look at the filament. And a couple of people have been quite good about sort of sharing information. I was trying to do a video on how filament is made and all that kind of stuff. And some factories don't want to let anybody in and show what they're up to because for various reasons. I suspect like how people are treated and how and age and things like that. And
the elementary school buses pull up and leave early in the morning and show up late at night. Never know.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that, and then obviously I'd like to come out to the States and try and do some streaming out there while sort of do a little mini tour or whatever. So so that's the plan anyway. But probably not this year.
Yeah, it's already going by pretty quickly. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's this has been good laughs. So
good.
Yeah, anybody out there watching this, building any of these droids, whether you're working on the first one, the second one, or the third one, you're getting ready to do, it doesn't matter where you drop it. You're going to be starting your first one right now, and you're always welcome. We're all in this together, and everybody watching. If you don't want to pop in on video, that's fine, but you're welcome to. If anybody like to share,
or just donate.
Yeah. So if you want to know where the files are, you can reply to any one of our streams in the chat or whatever. Contact through the about section on there and shoot us a message, and we'll let you know where those files are.
In my description below, I've got a link to everybody here on screen in my description. I'm assuming every guy here did that. There's links to each of us on the other videos.
It's all there in Tim's clickbait channel as well.
Sorry?
It's all there in Tim's clickbait channel as well.
My clickbait channel. Yeah.
So I've just pasted Mr. Badley's Patreon page. Mr. Badley or Badelli, as we know him as, is the creator of a lot of these files. So as I say, he's there you go. There's the link in the description now, guys. As I say, he does a lot of work with this, and occasionally he drops in and has a chat with us as well, which is very nice of him. But like I say, I believe he's got 150 more designs sitting in Fusion at the moment.
Oh wow!
The man in chat, Red Light, is a recycler. That's what he does for a living. Could you imagine if we were in the age of droids and they were everywhere? He would be the one we would go to.
Yep.
He have nowhere to store all the bits and pieces. Have to buy a couple more warehouses.
He has a garage full. He works at work. He has different cranes, got magnets. He picks up stuff, and he's into all kinds of electronics and scrapping and getting gold and copper, whatever you get out of electronics. But that's his living.
Was any headway made on the large TEDO? Yeah, we're looking at that at the moment. That's something me and Mike are talking about right now. We're going to be doing some streaming on it, and I think I'm going to get it out again. I know I have to keep getting it out. I'm probably going to use this little roll of filament that I got. So we're going to be doing some stuff with that.
Wow!
Wow! Oh my god! So yeah.
Oh, I sure hope that spool doesn't get mounted on top of the printer.
Well, we were talking about how a crazy way of doing it, and there's been a lot of suggestions about about putting a extruder motor, twinning the extruder motor, and as it turns, it'll turn that so it doesn't, so the direct drive doesn't have to pull everything and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Hey, hello, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
How you doing?
That looks great.
Very cool.
Great paint job on that.
Nice colors. Yeah, nice colors.
Oh, wow.
I've got a.
Oh, you went with the pistol grip controller too.
Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure how much I like it, but it was one of the.
Yeah,
it's the Dumbro or Dumbork or.
Well, dumb, yeah. Okay, so when someone mentioned pistol grip 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I just don't see it. So I don't see how controlling it would be that easy. So how is it working out?
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, it's not too bad. What I have a problem with is the head. You know, that I've got some little knobs on.
Different control. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
it works. It works. That's the important thing.
It works.
Very nice. Thank you for showing us.
Yes, thank you.
So for
Very cool.
your treads, though, what filament and what infill and settings did you use?
That's the Ninja Flex.
Okay. Yeah, everyone's got the Ninja Flex, but
Yeah.
You
some
just
of
can't,
us,
can't get it down
it's
here.
hard to
Just
get
out of
right
stock
now.
everywhere.
I
It's out
bought
of stock in
Yo-Yo
Australia.
off Amazon in the
Can't
US.
get
I
it.
bought Yo-Yo, and it's just as soft as Ninja Flex. The shore number, what's it supposed to be, like an 85?
85.
Yeah, that's what
B.
this is supposed to be. And this is on Amazon.
Don't need it. I've been using
Well,
my Bonte extruder. Yeah, I use Bonte extruders. I use slice engineering stuff. I tell you what, Marcel, you look like you've been told off by your mum. What's going on?
Nothing.
You okay?
All good. Just enjoying.
Tell us a little bit about the battle droid in the background.
Battle Droid. I've been working on him for quite a while, actually. His arms need to be put in place, but I've been redesigning the shoulder mounts so that I actually get full rotation and everything instead of just up and down. But I've had to redo all that stuff, do a huge bolt, an M10 bolt through the hips and stuff like that, but it's still not super stable yet, but it's getting there.
Whose files are they?
That's actually a Thingiverse file.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Because I wanted to redesign it myself anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Nice. That's good.
That's good.
Cool.
All right.
Someone asked a quick question, what drive I was using in BB-8, and I don't actually have a drive in BB-8 right now, but it's will be a Joe's drive is what I'm working on. Thought I'd answer that
Are
question.
you able to show do you have any electronics in BB-8 right now? Or is it just-
I have the drive in the other room, but it's only about 60% done. I kind of got to the electronic stage, and that's usually where I sometimes don't get stuff done there. I prefer the build stage.
Wow.
Totally. It's huge.
He is a big ball.
Okay. So, how many pieces? How many
This
pieces?
drive typically attaches axle drive. There you can see.
Looks like 4 pieces on the orange and 3 on the end caps, or 5 end caps.
6 circles and then triangles that go in between the circles. So you have the circle panels
Okay.
here, and then these are called triangle panels.
And the prime that and it was all rattle can.
This is rattle can for the color, and then a 2K automotive clear for the clear coat, because I wanted something very durable to.
Okay.
If I do make this
So
a rolling
nice
droid.
finish. Nice
Very
finish.
nice.
It's a very nice
Yeah,
finish.
a little bit too shiny for a BB unit, but
Roll it out in the backyard.
It'll wear out.
That long.
yeah,
That long.
I can always tone it down, right? No, I wanted the 2-part clear just so it'd be a little more robust.
If you have grandkids, let them play with it for 5 minutes, and it'll be,
Yeah. Soccer ball,
Worn
right?
in.
So, I mean, if we may want to wrap it up here soon for Sam, and he's going to be passing out shortly over there. So,
Yeah, all of our UK friends are probably pretty tired.
Could be,
So-
could be. Yeah, no worries. Well, yeah, like I say, anyone streaming this weekend? Anyone doing anything interesting this weekend before we go?
I've got a hangout tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'll be doing a hangout on my channel if anybody wants to drop by or stop in. I'm going to be trying out the new melon. I think I can only have 6 people at a time in, but I can do it in 1080p, and it's cheaper than StreamYard. So I'm going to give that a go tomorrow, and if it works out good, then I'm going to switch over.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, we've been trying a load of different stuff. Streamlabs is one I've been trying to get on with. I did a stream of it last week, but it wasn't very responsive. Some Melon came up, and there were 1 or 2 others, but it just seemed to be the better solution. So I'm hoping it's got kind of very similar features as with StreamYard. But I did cancel it today, and they cried and sent me an email and said, "Why are you leaving?" And I said, "Well, it's just not.
Not
You know,
worth
I can get it elsewhere for cheaper." So
Yeah.
so it's a buyer's market. Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And
guys.
One question.
John, are you doing any streaming this weekend?
Oh, Tim's got a giveaway.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I got
sorry,
it.
I just started cutting people off. I'm going to bed now. See you later. No, sorry, go on.
I'm doing Sunday at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 5 o'clock Jerry's time, and I think 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock John's time, etc. I'm doing a giveaway to celebrate the fact that I reached over 500 subscribers.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
Nice job, man. Nice job.
Got a few sponsors, giving away some filament, a few things from Wham Bam, etc. So yeah, tune in, and the more people that tune in, and the less people that tune in, the more chance you have of winning. So tune in, because we don't want, Jerry wants him to be the only one on the stream, but I don't know if that's going to happen. That'd be a pretty looking wheel of names.
Small circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be doing I was supposed to receive a machine today. It got bumped until maybe Monday, so I might be doing a live stream on Wednesday. So
cool.
If it arrives on time.
And I got an Anycubic Photon Mono X that came in the mail a few days ago. I'm currently working on a video, so hopefully I'll get that edited tonight and I can get that posted tomorrow. So
cool.
Yeah, I've got another Ender to unbox. Hey! Can't wait for that one. Oh yeah.
So this is my next video.
What is it?
What is it?
Well, this is the only part you see.
He gets surprised.
In fact,
So
John, can you send me your address? John, can you send me your address at some point? I might start sending stuff to you just for a laugh.
That's fine.
New dresses, new skirts. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it. Oh, you're right over there.
So yeah, everybody here on the stream, everybody has dropped in. Thank you very much. We love having people come on and show us what you're doing, and everybody watching, please like, subscribe to everybody here. And below in the description on each of our channels, there's links to the other guys and where you can get the files though, and subscribe on Mr. Bagley's Patreon, or Badelli, however you want to pronounce it. And So.
Good stuff, guys. Well, thank you very much. I'm just going to end it now. Make sure you keep your dresses on. We will see you next time. Bye for now.
Your pants on at least, anyway.
When did that become a prerequisite?